Hello, welcome back for day 3. And this is understanding stress. One thing that I've not heard anyone talk about before that we're going to spend the next few minutes educating you today about that one particular hormone that might be holding you back from your weight loss. It may be sabotaging you, but we're going to talk about it today. Welcome to day 3 of You Are Unburdened, a 30-day unstress yourself series that I am hosting. My name is Elmira Hinton. I am a health coach. I've been a nurse for over 40 years. I have the podcast Nurse's Notes by Elmira, and I'm here today to talk to you about the hormone that gets triggered every time you say, I'm fine, when you're really falling apart, and why it matters more than most people realize. Let's talk about stress. And more specifically, let's talk about the hormone cortisol. Okay. What is cortisol, you might ask? It's your body's primary stress hormone. Now, cortisol is released by the adrenal glands. There's these little glands that sit on top of your kidneys, little glands that sit on top of your kidneys, and they produce cortisol, particularly when you're stressed. They turn on. It doesn't necessarily have an off switch, but it definitely turns on when you're in danger, real or perceived, when your body gets flooded with cortisol to prepare for fight, flight, or even freeze. So I consider this a real prehistoric type of hormone or response. But our bodies just have not learned that the perceived stress that we might be feeling, the stress of, I got to get this schedule done. I need to get this project done. I need to get the kids to school. I need to get to the grocery store to pick up something. All those stressors. I'm taking care of family. I have other projects that I need to finish. Those stressors can flood your body with cortisol, particularly when you never shut down, okay? That particular hormone, cortisol, was appreciated when we were running from predators way back when, but now your body reacts the same way. When you get a stressful text, hey, you don't have any money in your bank account, or when you skip meals and you run through that drive-through to get that quick fix for that food, when you dislike your job, or you have that coworker or those demands that are just overwhelming for you, cortisol is released. When you say yes, when you really mean no, and don't forget, no is a complete sentence. When you live in the go mode, be here, be there, do this, do that, very serious. And your body doesn't know the difference between an emotional threat and a physical one. It just responds with releasing the hormone cortisol every single time, all day, every day. And again, particularly as we get older, it seems like we pick up more things. In our teenage years, we're happy and we're frolicking. Then all of a sudden, they graduate from high school and you need to figure out what you're going to do, whether it's going to college or where it's going into that educational program or whatever. Stress comes on. You have to figure out how to support yourself. You need to figure out how you're going to live, what you're going to do. So we start taking on stress at that point in time. And if you don't know how to manage it, you know how to come up, but you never know how to come down. You get a little bit older, your mid-20s, you might have a partner, a spouse, you might be having children. Now you have even more demands. You're trying to get more income. You're trying to buy that perfect house or look for that perfect destination. All of those things, they add up. So what happens when cortisol stays elevated? It starts to work against your health goals, okay? Increased cortisol levels. Remember, that little adrenal that's sitting on top of your kidneys is sitting there cranking out more and more cortisol. You start to store fat around your belly. You have disrupted sleep. You might even get triggered cravings, especially for those high fatty foods, those sugary carb-like foods, those your cravings will come out for those. Cortisol also slows down your metabolism because if you're in that fight or flight mode, you need to conserve energy. So it slows down the metabolism. It can even make some changes to your menstrual cycle, or it can add some perimenopausal symptoms, all because of that one hormone, cortisol. This can lead to burnout and emotional volatility. When I talked previously yesterday about that irritability, that's what I'm talking about, that emotional volatility, just because of high levels of cortisol, because of so many demands, so many challenges, and you're never coming down, never saying no, never taking time out for self-care can lead to burnout and that emotional irritability where you might fly off the handle when you really don't mean to. It's like having your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. It's just exhausting, it's chaotic, and it's not getting you anywhere. How to try and regulate your cortisol levels naturally. You can't eliminate stress completely. You need to learn how to manage it. You can train your body to respond differently, okay? And a lot of that really comes down to preparation. Here's how to start lowering your cortisol or your body's response to stressful situations. Prioritize sleep. That's number one. Not just rest, or I said the other one, not just sleep, but actually deep rest, intentional stillness, okay? Number two, practice saying no. Remember I said no can be a complete sentence. Set boundaries. You need to protect your energy. There's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so much you can get done in a day because you need to practice your self-care, all right? Need to practice those boundaries. Need to be able to say, no, I can't go out tonight because I've worked all day and I got challenges tomorrow. You need to be able to protect those boundaries. You need that downtime, okay? Eat regularly. Now, this is what preparation is key. Is making it a priority to grocery shop or to get those meals in place or to meal prep so you can have what you need, so you can have regular, nutritious meals. Your body does not like that processed food, okay? It just, what's this modified food starch that you can find in foods? That's not natural. So those unnatural things that's our processed foods are packed with, your body doesn't like and puts stress on your body. You don't digest it very well. It just sits out there and causes you stress, okay? Number four, you might want to look at some breath work or some self-hypnosis. That activates the parasympathetic nerve system in your body. Now, the parasympathetic nervous system, let me take you back a little bit, actually develops around 28 weeks when you're in the womb. Before that, it's all the sympathetic nervous system. That's why the baby's heart rate is so high, 150s, 160s, 170, because it's all sympathetic nervous system. Around 28 weeks, the parasympathetic, the opposite, the part of the nervous system that brings the heart rate down starts to develop. And so then you'll have this pull up and down, backwards and forwards for your part of your parasympathetic nervous system, bringing things down, calming things down. That's why that downtime for you can be so important. And that's why I highly recommend developing a meditation practice. And if that's something you're interested in, meditation, breath work, or self-hypnosis, go to my website, www.theyarnhealthcoach.com, and click that book a 15-minute session so we can talk about some of those tools, some of those things that I could work with you in developing. Also, be sure, like and comment on this particular video or the whole video series so I know what's helping you. Let me know, comment on this video. Anyway, and subscribe. If any of this information has supported you or you think might be able to support someone else, be sure and share it with them, all right? I also have the podcast Nurse's Notes by Elmira that I will also put this series on, so you can listen to this while you're driving instead of trying to sit in front of your computer. All right, number five, get outside. Get outside and take a walk. That is very calming. Studies show that outside, leave the phone. Now, if you want to play some music or something like that, but you shouldn't be walking and texting. This is your relief time. This is your downtime. This is your self-care time. Taking that walk, getting that 10 minutes of sunlight where your body can begin to calm down. Nature just calms the body down. So taking that walk, particularly if you can get to some woods and see some greenery or something like that, can be very stress relieving. Not talking about talking on the phone the whole time. We're talking about de-stressing, taking this time for yourself, that quietness, adding to that stillness time for yourself, okay? You don't have to overhaul your entire life. You just need to give your nervous system more chances to feel safe. And definitely that walk can do that for you, okay? Here's your reflection prompt for today. When do I feel most stressed? Remember before, I've encouraged you to journal or to use the voice app on your phone to talk these things out or to write these things out in your journal. When do I feel most stressed? And what can I do to bring calm to those moments? Okay. You think about that project at work or that project at home or that need to be here and there. Think about, are those some of the times that you're feeling the most stressed, and what can you do to calm them down? Maybe you need to release some of them. Maybe you need to ask for some help. Maybe, you do. You may need to ask for some support in getting these things done because it's too much for one person to get done in a 24-hour period of time when you still need to prioritize your sleep and your meals, okay? This is where the URunburdened method really begins to work, not by pushing harder, but by releasing the pressure that you've been under for far too long, and now it's showing up and affecting your health. Remember your blood pressure, remember the additional weight around the waist, maybe even the hip area also. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts below and comment. And don't forget to grab the companion guide if you haven't already. That supports this video series in you. Now, tomorrow is day 4. We're going to take a deep dive into fat-burning hormones, why your body resists weight loss, and how to turn things back on. Okay? Remember, my name is Elmira Hinton. I am the RN health coach. I can support you in making this change a lasting change and to go deeper on that. Comment below, go to the website, book a 15-minute session so we can talk about how this can support you in being the healthiest version of yourself, okay? You're showing up, you're doing the work, and that's the beginning of everything. See you tomorrow. Take care and have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.